a number of different designs of portable mirrors were made for the army and travellers. From the earlier ones that looked more like their domestic equivalent but were made to break down, to ones from the second half of the 19th century and onwards that had developed more of their own look and practicality. Today I'm going to look at box mirrors, and a number of different makers produced box mirrors. We know that J.W. Allen did. Army and Navy Store made an awful lot of them. Companies like Ross & Co in Dublin also made them. And probably a number of the London makers, John Pound, Drew and Son, Hill and Millard, they probably also made them as well. So what is a box mirror? Well, to put it simply, a mirror in a box. Now the box, of course, forms its packing case to protect it during travel, very important, but it also forms its stand. Now, the good thing about a box mirror is that you can either use it in the stand or you can hang it. So we can see the top of a box is split in half. The two connecting sides of the top are both cut with rebates opposite each other so that the one will hold the other closed and stay closed with the use of a swing hook on either side. So inside we've got our mirror held nice and securely, not much space for it to move around during travel, and we've got a hanging ring to the top. So the mirror can simply be taken out and hung for use, hung on your tent pole or hung in a barrack room or whatever, and you've got a very practical bit of travel equipment there. But as I said, it can also be used on the stand. So to the bottom of the mirror, on either side, you've got a dome-headed screw. Now during travel, those screws will slot into these cutouts to the bottom. But for use, they'll go into these cutouts in the middle of the box. And that will hold the mirror's position to stop it sliding. Then the front cover can go on and we can put the hooks back if we want. And the back cover we can use to adjust the angle of a mirror. So you can see you've got these different cutout teeth here, and we'll use the back half of the top to adjust the angle of a mirror. Very simple, very practical, works a treat. So there you go. Now, we know that this form of mirror was made at least by 1855 because it's in J.W. Allen's catalogue of that date. And they called it a portable mahogany looking glass in box frame. They only made it in mahogany and it was only available in 3 sizes. And it cost £1, 1 shilling from the smallest size, it's about £144, up to £2 and 8 shillings for the largest size, around about £330 in today's money. The Army and Navy Store made an awful lot of these mirrors. In their 1883 catalogue, they also gave them the same title, Portable Looking Glass in a Box Frame, and it was available in mahogany or teak in 7 sizes, from 14 inches by 10 inches to 24 inches by 18. Available at 13 shillings to 32 shillings, which is around about £100 to £250 today. So cheaper than J.W. Allen in 1855, nearly 30 years earlier. But that's what the Army and Navy Store were all about. They're a cooperative society that managed to buy cheap and sell cheap to give their members, many of whom were officers in the military service, a much better value for price item, much cheaper items. So it's not really any surprise that the Army and Navy Store were cheaper. In 1898, the Army and Navy Store catalogue called them box glasses. The title had been reduced quite a bit from portable looking glasses in a box frame, and you could get it in mahogany, teak or oak. We don't really see many oak ones. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen an oak one. So I'm guessing from that, oak wasn't particularly popular, so not many were made and sold. And they were available in 9 sizes, so we added 2 more sizes. These two, going on the size-wise, if we go on the Army and Navy Store sizes, this one is the 3rd smallest mirror that you could get. This one, although a reasonable size, is not the largest. They made 3 more bigger in size than this one. So there was a wide variety of sizes on offer from the Army and Navy Store. And the smaller ones today tend to be more sought after because, of course, they're easier to use, easier to put on a campaign chest or dressing table. This one at the back, we can see it's just about the depth of the standard campaign chest. So although it fits, it does take up quite a lot of space. So to sum it up, I mean, this is quite a staple piece of campaign furniture. You couldn't, by any means of the imagination, call them rare. They do turn up. The smaller ones are harder to find than the medium or larger ones. And as I said, probably a number of different makers produced them. Sometimes you'll get a label on them. Sometimes we've seen Ross & Co. marked to them. Army and Navy Store labels. Quite often we won't see any labels at all. But this one is stamped with 4 digits and to the back. And quite often when we see that, we think that there's a very good chance it was made by the Army and Navy Store. We know the Army and Navy Store had a system, a reference system of 4 numbers that they stamped to many of their items. And we also know that Army and Navy Store produced items for other sellers. We've seen a campaign chest marked Solomon Brothers of Aldershot, which had an Army and Navy Store label hidden underneath. But also, you know, when you study and you handle enough Army and Navy Store items, you get a feel for the look and for their style. And you can recognise pieces by them, of course, which are not marked, and so probably made for other people. So let's sum these two up. They're both made of teak. Difficult to date accurately. We know that the box mirror was made for at least 60 years. You're still seeing it in the 1907 Army and Navy Store catalogue. It's no longer in the 1926 catalogue that they produced, although there are other portable mirrors in that catalogue. And we've got a rough start date of 1855 from the Allen catalogue, but they were probably making them a few years before that. So they were made for at least 60 years, which is a good length of time. And the design didn't really change much. It was simple, it was practical, it worked, no need to change it. You can go a little bit off perhaps the metal work, the quality of the timber, but that doesn't give you a lot of clues. So we'll say that these are late 19th century. They could be very early 1900s, they could be 1860s, but late 19th century feels about right on them. Both English, both made of teak, and a good standard piece, if you will, item of campaign or travel furniture. You can see more of them on our website, campaignfurniture.com, in the archive section or in the items for sale section.